Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of Sisters with a Purpose. I'm your girl, Leash.
And I'm Bree.
And we are home still. I am postpartum, still trying to get motherhood down. So we will hopefully be coming with a live episode here soon. But for now, we will be at home. It is our fall episode, so we are in September. So happy fall, even though it doesn't feel like fall up here in Dallas today. It's about 92. What is it in San Antonio, Bree?
I don't know. It's been hot on top of hot
Yeah, you can
consistently.
see. Yeah, I see the blinds are closed in the back, so we're not getting no fresh air. So it doesn't
Yeah,
feel like
it's
fall,
been
but
hot.
yeah, it's been super hot. So before we get started with our episode, remember our purpose is to give you a little bit of sports from me. Always give you some help from Bree or just like a topic recognizing whatever month we are recording in. So we got a good, little show and episode for you today. We will also have a guest joining us a little bit later, just to kind of talk about some of our new segments because we will be launching two of our new segments that we referenced in our last episode. So we are excited. Before we get into our sports, let's highlight what's been going on. So Bree, other than I know what I've been up to. So what have you been up to lately? I just been in the trenches of
Um,
the newborn.
I've been in the trenches of trying to let one of these jobs go.
Okay. Dang.
um, yeah, I'm still, I made the bad decision of like, I'm gonna go see what it's like over here. And then I
Mhm.
got into this whole compare and contrast and what I like, what I don't like, and then I have people that I'm like close to over here because this is where I started. So, but man, working 5, 12, 6, 12s in a week,
Dang.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yes.
Working, trying to work on part 2 of Carson. What do you see? The zoo edition. So we should have that out
Ooh,
by December. I'm
that's
excited.
exciting.
Um,
I like how you just
Cameron
soft
is
launched it. I'm like, what?
Cameron is keeping us busy with football. He started
Mhm.
7th grade football. They've won their past 2 games.
Nice.
He's had a touchdown each game, so I'm
Are you that
excited
mama
about
in the
that.
stands?
Oh, I'm that
Yes.
mama. I'm that
Okay.
mama
Ain't
that be
nothing wrong
doing
with
too
it.
much. They be like, this is not the NFL. When they be calling these penalties and callbacks, and I'm like, just child. I'm enjoying it though. What else do we have going on? I feel like it's a whole lot. Um, Trying to figure out what my plan is for next year. I don't know if I want to go to school for lactation, which is breastfeeding, or
Mm.
if I'm going to do this AC course I've been talking about. So I get licensed with Chris or going back for a master's. Either way, I'm going back to school for some y'all. I'm just collecting degrees at this point.
Right. Yeah, no, I say go for it, especially since you have the time now. And it's always good to further educate yourself. I'm going to school right now too. And in the
Speaking of,
newborn
when we
churches.
finish,
Not till 2027, spring of 2027.
don't say not to. It's gonna zoom on by.
Yeah, it's gonna zoom on by for sure. I was like, man, I was like, baby girl will be two by the time. No, she'll be one going on two because it's spring of 2027. So she'll be at least one before I graduate. I actually got what is it? I don't even remember what it's called, but I did get honored because my GPA being so high. They put me in some type of thing.
Hey.
I don't appreciate I had to pay $65. Just hey, you've been recognized for having a high GPA, but the enrollment fee is $65. Well, damn, I'm already paying the
Is it
tuition.
like a honor society?
Yeah, National Honor Society.
Mm-hmm.
So they give
My
you,
little
they
nerdy
present
self would
it.
know.
Yeah, well, because I have been to school, girl, in what 10 years, 12 years. Graduated in 2013 from USF. So yeah, it's been a minute. So when they sent the email, I said, "Oh, what is this?" Because back, as a student athlete, they send everything to your advisor, and then your advisor tells you you're very spoiled. But post student athlete life, enrolling in the classes, looking up that's all what you got to do. So yeah, I had to learn the hard way. But yeah, no, the masters is going real good. Proud of myself because I've been balancing that and the newborn trenches, and I was able to go see Chris Brown. So that's what I've been
Yes.
doing.
So you went before I did, and I went last week in Houston, and he put
Mhm.
on a good show. It was long, but it was a good
Yes,
show. I
yeah,
was like, I'm
it was
getting too
very good.
old.
This was my second year seeing him. I saw him last, was it summer? Yeah, I saw him last summer, and then I saw him again this year. This year was longer than last year. I feel like last year he wrapped it up like around 11/11 because that was the tour. That was mostly the songs he was singing was from his 11/11 album.
Oh,
But
okay.
this year, he
money decisions you can only worry about spending. She worry about me, her nigga worry about me. I wanna see her body, and she's singing inside of me. I wanna live, just bring the hell up out of me. We love it, she love it, especially when I go down. Now we bugging, getting loud. Cause we poppin' like, hey, all my bitches got real hair, with the top down.
was just singing and dancing, dancing and singing, flying and singing, singing upside down.
It was a
Okay.
really good show. I'll give him that. But the preparation of like trying to get to, well, we were walking distance from the stadium, like literally 3 minutes. Like we just walked
Mhm.
out of our hotel and then there was a stadium. But um I don't think these stadiums were anticipating the magnitude of him selling out an entire stadium. And I don't think they're prepped with staff. So the lines are wrapped around the building and where do you go? And it just trying to get through that, trying to get to our seats. Then you got the hype man that comes on, he hyping the crowd. Then Summer Walker came on and it was Bryson and then it was him. And then trying to get out of the stadium. I was like, man, this was like all day.
Yeah,
All day.
it was. Yeah. So I did. Yeah, here in Dallas, he was at where the Rangers play. So, like you said, I don't think people would. I don't think the staff was expecting it, and even like the staff that was down there on the floor, they were like some older women. I'm like, you got women, crazy girls in their 20s, or even not even in their 20s. You got girls our age just crazy
Oh
down there
yeah.
on the floor. No, they don't need to be on the floor, but for some odd reason they didn't found their way down there, knowing their seats ain't even up there, but they trying to get a picture. It was just a lot.
Yeah.
But I will say I did. I enjoyed the concert. He
Oh, he
said,
he put on a hell of a show. I
talk
just
about he
was
gonna do
tired
it next
afterwards.
year. Yeah. I said, oh, okay, well let me go ahead and get my little coins in a row because I will plan on going back next year. If he do, I'm yeah, he got the catalog too because there was some songs he wanted to do but he just couldn't do.
He
This
couldn't
man
fit
been in the game
in.
for 20 years.
I would tell you if you in them first 5 damn rows, take a fan.
Oh yeah, I had my fan.
Take a
Yeah.
fan. I took my sister's fan. I was not prepared for all of the flames that he was gonna
Mhm.
do every other act. And that heat that comes off them flames, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he did. It was a hell of a show. But all right, so that was just our little recap. That was just us kind of winging it too. But let's go ahead and get into our sports section. So it is fall. Football's back. The WNBA playoffs actually start today. I'm hoping the Minnesota Lynx can take it this year. Last year it was them and New York Liberty in the finals, and from what I remember, Minnesota should have won, but it's always been wanting to give that team that's never won a championship a championship. So New York Liberty kind of
Mm.
won, but hopefully this year the Minnesota Lynx can win. They got the best record, so I'm rooting for them. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's even though sports is back and football, well, not sports is back, football is back. There have been some crazy outbursts in the sports industry. So the first one I want to talk about is, because I've been at home in the newborn trenches. I was watching tennis, and during the U.S. Open, it was this woman named Jelena, and she's from a country named Latvia, I think. That's who she was representing when she was playing in the U.S. Open. And she was playing a girl called Taylor Townsend. Well, Taylor is
Mhm.
from the USA. She's from Chicago. And she basically called her uneducated and classless because she lost the match.
Yep.
Bree, being in the military and being in sports, have you ever had someone just have like an outburst on you because they're just mad at you, or you did something a certain way better than them, so they just felt like they had to retaliate like that?
In the military, no, wasn't
No.
nobody that crazy. um, it's funny because Chris used to really not believe me, but I had a good support team when I was stationed at Riley. And I wound up being the NCOIC of my shop, which is the non-commissioned officer over my shop. And then only person above me was the officer over the shop. And I was respectful, but I played no games. So
Yeah.
people already knew when you came to me, it was what it was. And I had an officer that was going to back me doing it. So it was funny because Chris and I wound up figuring out that we knew a mutual person. Like Chris
Hmm.
deployed with this person. They were best friends, like did all this stuff, reconnected. And I was like, I know who that is. And he was like, man, your wife is crazy. He was like, your wife said what was on her damn mind. At times I used to be like, bro, do you still realize you're in the military? And Chris finally got another source to hear from. But military wise now, people tried it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was, with all due respect, our rank to the side, we could step outside. And that's how it
Right.
was. So
I'm proud of Taylor because she didn't, and she was a woman of color, so she didn't react,
she handled
how
it.
we,
Yeah, with
yeah,
grace.
how we can react,
Hmm.
especially because it's in a high, she just won. It's in a, emotions are high. Everything is going on. She could have responded the way that people probably thought she was going to respond, but she didn't. And it was crazy to me that, to me, it felt like social media pressured the other girl to apologize, because I feel like if it wouldn't even have gotten out what she said, the girl wouldn't even apologize. But
Girl, the
once social,
apology that she issued said uh that it was also a part of, it was not, what she said was due to a language barrier. So she thinks that it might have been misconstrued. And to understand that, this is like a second language to her, and she just thinks things got misconstrued. I don't know how you look at another Black woman and tell her she not educated and has no class. And
yeah,
and and I'm supposed to take that as a misunderstanding
or a language barrier.
of a
you
language
know,
barrier.
you know what uneducated and not having class be. I can get the class aspect because I know they always, I've heard that like women in sports in the United States, we do kind of play at a different edge, or we have, I've heard that saying before. I have. But for you to say uneducated, well, how she, where does that come from? From just playing a tennis match. How do you get somebody who's uneducated from just playing a tennis match?
I think it was very harsh because, and I hate that it has to be a race thing, right? But we already
Mhm.
know the stereotype does come often with African American women, even though statistics show we are the most educated and
Right.
stuff, especially over the past couple of
Yep.
years. But she knew what she was doing. And I
Mhm.
almost feel like we do a lot of fining for everything else. I don't know how that wasn't a fine for being unprofessional on the tennis court. Like, this wasn't said something she said in a press conference. She said it on the court. It's like as soon as the game was over, just It was nasty.
Yeah. And speaking of fines, I'm glad you referenced that because the next one I want to talk about was girl, was it Thursday night? Yeah, I think it was Thursday night, first NFL game. We already starting the NFL off with a bang. Jalen Carter from the Eagles just gonna spit on Dak Prescott
I
from
don't
the
know, but
Cowboys.
they showing they showing a whole bunch of reclips that look like Dak spit on him first. Now I don't
Right,
think he should have. If that was the case,
right.
hypothetically, because we don't really know, I'm just going off footage, and it does
Yeah.
look like Dak spit on him first. I felt like at that time, if you was gonna take a fine, you supposed to take that fine right then and there. We're not going into play 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going into the second. I would have spit on your ass back, or we would have went to swinging. Point
Yeah.
blank period. I'm gonna take this fine. I'm gonna take it with grace. Now I don't know why he waited, because they never catch the person that did it. They always catch
Mm-hmm.
the person that reacted. So
Exactly.
um he's made a couple of comments. He feels like Dak should say something, and I think he's saying that because Dak probably really did spit on him,
Yeah.
or he made the
And you
motion
know
that
he
he
not
spit
gonna
on him.
yeah, he ain't gonna say
Girl,
nothing. But girl, yeah, Jalen back to what you were saying, Jalen got that fine. The NFL wasn't
no,
playing.
that fine was heavy, but
I
it's
said, well,
spit,
what do
y'all.
y'all do with
Like,
the fine money is what I want to know.
I don't know which one you think is worse. I've asked Chris, and Chris is like, both of them are harsh. Would you rather a person slap you or spit on you?
Slap. Cause I don't know what you did. I don't know what,
Girl,
especially
my
now,
husband
cause
said he going to hell and back on both.
yeah. And I've never going back to like being confrontational in sports outbursts like what we're talking about. I've never been in that situation. My mom recalled it was one tournament like a girl got like really upset with me, but I don't remember that. I don't be paying attention to that. And as you know, Bree, I'm not the one who I'm very nonchalant. I'm not never been in a fight. That's not me. Now you, on the other hand, you a hot tamale because you go, mama, she a hot tamale. But and I have some teammates that go from like 0 to 100 real quick. But me,
You
I don't
can't
know.
blame them. Let me stop my
Yeah.
kid from opening up this door. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, you fine.
Have a girl should drive you crazy.
Yeah. That's why I'm like attached, but I'll be like, let me just let you go with your daddy. Um, but yeah, so we'll jump back into it. But yeah, so I don't know. I've never been that friend. Never been that person to kind of outburst or anything. But the last thing that I wanted to get into was I love and hate for Angel Reese. So the last outburst, because we talked about tennis, football, girl, even Angel had a little outburst. So she in the past this was during an interview, so she didn't just say this in the locker room because you could, in the locker room you can say whatever you want. What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. Whatever you say to your teammate, y'all can hash it out. But girl, she on an interview then went and told she basically said that the team needs to get better players because if they trying to win a championship, the players they got right now ain't finna cut it. And she basically called out, I forgot one of the teammates. She singly called out one of the teammates and was like, she needs to be better. And I'm like, Angel, what what is going on? I don't think she was fined either. I think she was penalized. She did have to sit out like the first quarter or the first half of the next game. But for you to work for that's your employer. So how, Bree, how would you that's like you basically saying that going on the internet or just in an interview saying the employer I work for now need to get better nurses because the ones we got ain't cutting it. I done seen some stuff. Like what is going on?
Um, Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. That do be a thought process sometimes, but I ain't gonna
But
say
you
it to
would, you're
my.
not gonna
I
say
ain't gonna
that.
say
You're
it to
not gonna
my
go, yeah.
employer.
You're not gonna go
No.
online and just
This is nothing new with this young lady. You know, we have followed her for a very long time, even when she played in college, and her mouth has always wrote a goddamn check that her ass can't cash. Okay,
yeah.
it's nothing new. I just think it's age, it's frustration. Um, Professionalism sometimes isn't there. I've said it before. A good mentor, somebody just needs to kind of step in and she can follow to just kind of, it's her cool off person that she can vent to, that she don't have these moments. Do I really think deeply she wanted to cut her team down that deep? No, I really
No.
think it's a young person that's frustrated, that's in their second year, that is talented. She is talented, and she came out. I didn't think so, but she came out year two doing what she needed to do. But one person can't carry no whole damn team, and she's just pretty much telling y'all like, she has a goal. I'm trying to reach that goal, and I can't do it with my peers. What she did do was now you done created conflict and tension in the
Right.
locker room, and so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's gonna work with her. I don't know how that's
Yeah.
gonna work with her. Um,
We'll
her
have to
teammates,
follow
the
it.
staff, the coach. I don't know. Can she? Will she be released? Will they trade her and be like, we don't want that kind of person on our team? Now, granted, she'll get picked up somewhere else, but she just created a almost like Tony Parker and Kawhi
Mm-hmm.
situation. That's what she just did.
Yeah, because when I was telling husband, he had a good point because he was like, Kobe, rest in peace. Kobe probably told his teammates like, you need to get it together, or you played terrible, or to get them to that next level. But he never went out during interviews and said, "Oh, such and such shot. They need to be better for us to win games." Or the coaches said, he never did that. LeBron never did that. Kirk, like the greats that we know, they've never just gone out and put the organization basically to the ground. Like,
No, but they have played mastermind behind the scenes.
mhm,
LeBron
yeah,
definitely. Um, you know, he's had teammates there today and gone tomorrow.
exactly.
So
And that's what, and that, yeah, and that's why, no, true, because he has had teammates. Oh, because I think, yeah, Anthony Davis, he talked about he didn't know nothing about Anthony Davis getting traded to Dallas. Sir, you do.
he knew before everybody else knew.
Right.
But when you have rings,
Hmm.
you can make those kind of calls. She ain't got no ring yet.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know
I
when that
understand.
humbleness is gonna kick in.
I understand the expectation that she has because she did come from LSU. She did win a championship with them. So I get it. Like, that's the kind of culture that you're used to. But you do have to understand, too, playing in the WNBA, you were a top 10 pick. So you did go to a team that is in the rebuilding stage. It's going to take longer than 2 years. This is year two. And even your first year, the same could have been said about you. We done picked up this pick. She ain't, doing what she needs to do. Now this is your second year. You were doing fine, but you don't go and bash your teammates and bash your team and bash the organization during an interview because you already know they're gonna run with it because you are paying
She
them.
done created a hard culture for herself in the locker room. Some people
Yeah,
are not gonna forgive her for that statement. So I don't really know what it's gonna look like for her continuing on.
yeah. I
Mhm.
personally don't see her with Chicago. I don't. But then again, I don't know who I see her with. At the end of the day, it is a business. So, and with the class of what would this be, 2026? Yeah, the WNBA draft for next year is going to be just as good as the one these past couple of years. So, I don't know. We shall see. It is a business. Um, but that wraps up our little sports seg. Oh, one more thing. Gotta recognize it because this is what happened over our little break too. Girl, Taylor and Travis is engaged. uh, what it was quick. I will say that it was what less than a year or two, 2 years of dating. I feel like they just had started dating before the Super. Yeah, was it before the Super Bowl? I don't know, but yeah, congratulations to them. That's a whole ooh wee. Could you imagine? I thought Blue Ivy had it bad with her parents being Jay Z and Beyonce. When they do decide to have kids, or what, I'm gonna be like, my dad is Travis Kelsey and my mom is Taylor Swift.
Oh, you think it's gonna make it to that point?
I think so.
Mm.
Travis has hinted because of his brother. He sees how because his brother Jason got four daughters,
Mm.
and he likes being like an uncle. He enjoys kids. So we shall see. I give it maybe a year or two.
After,
Mark my words, she might be pregnant now.
you know,
That surprises me anymore.
they probably will run off y'all and get married. She might have a baby. Um, I don't see no 10, 15, 20 year out of that.
Really?
I think no,
Yeah, because
no.
Travis, he's hinted
No.
that he might be done playing football. He's been in the league
You
a
know,
long
and
time.
that's cool. I would be done doing a lot of things if I was marrying a billionaire too. What am I stressing my body out for? Let me be able to move around with these kids. But
hmm
I think you don't move so drastically different after being locked into something for 8 years. Um,
Oh, you're talking about his previous.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's day and night. It's this with the culture. Now, I just it's too much to unpack there. I just think we're gonna see how it play out. Um, yeah, no.
yeah. It caught me for a loop when they announced it. I was like, whoa,
I saw a ring coming. Like he really does, you
care
know,
for.
care for her, and he has mom's approval and everybody's so happy and this and that. Um, but we're talking somebody that sustained an 8 year relationship and somebody who can't sustain past five,
hmm
4, 3, 2, and then she put out how many albums on a breakup? So
Yeah, we shall see, but we wish them the best. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to end with. I was like, woo, that caught me for a loop too when I was well, not when because I'm still in it, but when you're in the newborn trenches, you watch everything, social media, TV, because you're just up. So when that was announced or when it was on, I was like, oh, I was like, okay, let's see how that
It's gonna be a
goes.
big wedding.
Yeah, even if they do decide to have a big wedding. But let's go ahead and transition into our health and our reference for the month of September. So, Bree, what are we going to be talking about today?
So September it's the month for a lot of things. Child cancer, suicide prevention,
Mm-hmm.
but it is also baby safety month. So I thought, well, you just had a baby, and then
Mm-hmm.
I work with babies 24/7, my AKA birth control. So I was like, well, why don't we do baby safety? And I'll let you ask me some questions or some of the things that they might have went over with you in the hospital that you thought was like interesting and very important to know. Maybe you didn't know before you had your baby.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. They didn't really go over too much with me. They gave me
Really?
a they gave me a pamphlet. The pamphlet does have a lot of information, I will say. But as far as showing me and hands-on and classes, how I thought it used to be back in the day, because I worked in a hospital too in labor and delivery just as front office, but back what I thought they did, they don't do anymore. I thought they
It's
taught
a
you
culture
how to do,
shift, I
yeah,
will
I
say,
thought
in
they
the
taught you about
hospital.
CPR, and yeah, it was just more of them coming in, checking on you, checking on the baby, and then they send you home, they give you this pamphlet, ask you if you have any questions. Obviously, you don't know what to ask. But yeah,
In the
luckily
moment,
my
right?
yeah, luckily my mom was there, and obviously my husband and ChatGPT. Ain't gonna lie. I chat GPT a lot of things like is it safe to do this? Is it
You
safe to
could
do
just
that?
phone a friend.
Yeah, but I don't be wanting to bother my friends. But I will say, like my sister-in-laws and my friends with kids, like I do ask y'all certain things too. But I guess one thing that kind of was surprising to me is that they promote that babies are supposed to sleep on their back. I'm not a back sleeper, but I would just feel if they're on their back, how are they? I feel like a baby would sleep better on their stomach, but they promote back sleeping. So that was something that
Yes,
kind of
so a lot
surprised
of
me.
people don't know that, or a lot of culture things comes in place, right? Like
Hmm.
I won't really take it there and disclose certain cultures. They do co-sleeping. It's a thing. I've seen certain cultures that they like to put baby on their side and use like blankets to kind of roll around them to stop them from rolling, which is still a suffocation hazard. So
Hmm.
going to when it comes to safe baby sleep, and I teach that from the time my parents get in my room, and I harp on that, harp on that, harp on that, because between leaving babies in the car and co-sleeping, those are kind of your top two things that are preventative for babies passing away. First of all, babies should never co-sleep with mom and dad. I don't care how much you guys trust each other that somebody's not gonna roll, baby's not gonna get tangled in a blanket. Baby needs to be either in a bassinet or in a crib. Um, People go out and they buy all these fancy bumpers and comforters to put in the crib. Those are no-nos. It should be a nice firm mattress, not a soft one. Nothing inside of the crib except baby. So no toys, no pillows, no, we really don't even promote blankets. We would really prefer for you just to put baby in a sleeper, keep the room at a good temp, and let baby sleep on their back. The reason why we recommend baby sleep on their back is because they don't know how to roll. So until your baby is able to roll on their own, they need to sleep on their back. We don't even want them sleeping on their side, because guess what? You put them on their side and they're a newborn and they roll, they can't roll back. And they will exhaust themselves trying to pick their head up. And the next thing you know, they've suffocated some kind of way with the mattress. Um, so those are big ones. When we get our moms in our rooms, I tell them, I know you're gonna get sleepy, but please, when you start to feel sleepy, put baby in the bassinet. Hey, dad, if you're holding baby, baby can't sleep on the little fold out, uncomfortable fold out dad couch that they provide.
Hmm.
Just put baby in the crib. Um, no balloons, no stuffed animals. I don't even allow people to do outside blankets inside of the cribs, because some of them are thick, some of them are heavy. Um, and we'll get to that too. You can kind of overheat a baby, put too much clothes on them, and that can
Hmm.
put a baby in distress or make them overheat. So, yes, no co sleeping on their back, nothing inside of the crib. If you can put baby in a sleeper or in a swaddle to sleep in, that is the perfect way until they are able to roll on their own.
Yeah, and I will say I don't swaddle her. She's never been. She swaddled maybe like the first week she was home, but I never. I remember it was funny. I know Amazon was tired of me. I was getting things delivered to the house, just trying to like see what she like. I had them deliver swaddles, sleepers. We ended up ordering, I think, another bassinet because we had her to pack and play. We was just trying everything to get her to sleep. And when in doubt, she once we put her on in a little sleeper, she was fine. So it is like you said, temperature of the house because we naturally keep it cold. We can't keep it cold as we want it to. It has to be comfortable enough for her. So yeah, that's a big thing. But yeah, they don't. When they sent me home from the hospital, it was just like, good luck. If you have any questions, here's who you call. Follow up with the pediatrician. The only thing they did make sure was that we had an appointment with the pediatrician
Oh yeah, you can't get
scheduled.
discharged without that follow up
Yeah.
appointment.
So that's what
That
they
is
kept
like
saying. Do
a
you have a pediatrician?
regulation
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but
Then
as
you're
far
not
as
going nowhere. I have seen people and they like, when we ready to go home, and they like, you ain't going nowhere. We can discharge
mm-hmm.
mom, but baby ain't going nowhere until we have an appointment. I would probably say sleeping is a big thing that I harp on, and because we are in Texas, really it should be anywhere you live. Heat stroke.
Yes.
Every year, a baby gets left in a car, and it's an unfortunate situation. A lot of times, it comes down to a situation where honestly, people are out of routine. So, mama's been taking baby to daycare 364 days out of the year. And at one time, she tells daddy, I got an appointment this morning. You got to drop baby off. And he's not in routine. He puts the baby in the car. He goes straight to work and was like 2 hours later. I was supposed to drop baby off at daycare and baby's in the car. So I train my parents. I don't care if you are in routine and you know when you got in the car that morning, you're the only person in the car and you know you're going to work. I still want you to get in the habit of still looking in the backseat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regardless if you know you actually helped your wife put your baby in the car. I says because if you get in that routine, you'll always do it. It'll be muscle memory. Check the back seat. I'm good. Because it happens. One day y'all are gonna be out of routine. Somebody's gonna take the baby somewhere, whether it's an appointment, a family member's house, a extra pickup, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens. You can quickly forget.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's important. Luckily, we're not. I can see down the line, but right now she's so young. Girl, I took her to the Dollar Tree the other day and to get like a sandwich, but I don't really take her out the house like that,
I wouldn't
especially
blame
because
you. Right now,
RSV.
it's
Yeah.
RSV, COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and flu. We're in that season. RSV can be very, very rough on an infant and kids. It's an upper respiratory virus, and it works wonders on them.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a lot. So I don't blame you. Um, I think the other thing that we talked about is just overdressing baby. We are in Texas, so don't put baby in a sleeper and then put two blankets on top of her and then put a blanket over the car seat and think that they not gonna get hot. Like
Yep.
it could be a whole lot. We typically teach that, and then I always try to involve my parents with baths because when you first take them home, you can't submerge them in water. They still have their umbilical cord. A lot of people don't know that. You can't just throw them in the tub when you get them home and rub them down in Johnson and Johnson. Mm-mm. They get a little wipe downs until the umbilical cord falls off, and then you can submerge them in water. But a lot of people don't know what a sponge bath looks like. A lot of people don't know how to check the temp of their water. They have come out with these fancy tubs that have little thermometers on them that tells you if the water's too hot. I'm the old school generation. I just use my elbow and my hand. If it's too hot for my hand, it's too hot for babies.
Right.
Lukewarm.
Yeah. No, I don't need that. But they have came out with a lot of fancy things to make you spend your money for us first time parents.
Mhm.
So yeah, I didn't fall for that one. There was a lot of things I did fall for, but the
That and the
tub,
bottle maker gets a lot of people. Like, oh, you bought
yeah,
this little fancy bottle maker that dispenses the formula and the water and warms it up. I'm like, $400 wasted. But
yeah, nah. Luckily, I've been breastfeeding and pumping. So far, it's been great. So hopefully, we can make it to the goal is 6 months to a year. We'll see. But yeah. Speaking of that, so you talked about we want to talk about bottle safety too. So Bree, did you want to? Because we're bottle feeding a little bit, but
Mhm.
it's funny. Me and my one of my homegirls, we went to a lactation class, and it was funny because the lactation nurse, she was just like going over everything, super helpful. I will say that she was more helpful than the hospital, just because it was a lot I already knew. So when the lactation nurse did come into the hospital, it was more of, oh, you're already doing, yeah, because I went to a class when I was 37 weeks, so it was great. But it was funny because when we were in that class, me and my friend, she was like, "Oh, well, no, we plan to pump," and the girl was like, "No, I we don't recommend you pump because it is a lot to pump." But she was like, "I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm just tell you what worked for me. Breastfeeding is easier." So here it is, what 6, 7 weeks in, and I was talking to my friend. I said, "Girl, you remember when we thought pumping was easier? All them dang parts you gotta clean, the bottles you gotta prep, all that stuff." No, it's just easier to just pull it out, nurse her, and put it back in. But
Put
when it
it
does
back.
come to bottle safety, it is a little challenging because there are so many different bottle brands out there. So, Bree,
Mhm.
what would you recommend as far as for? I'm not gonna say the best bottles because it's just like toilet paper. People have a like we can't just say, oh, this is the
People
best toilet
do.
paper. Yeah.
People do have a preference. And then there's a lot that comes into play. Is baby a preemie? Is baby not a preemie?
Hmm.
Was baby discharged on a particular nipple? Like it's a whole lot. All of my kids use Dr. Brown. That worked for me. Okay.
That works for
However,
us
if you're
too.
familiar with a Dr. Brown bottle, Dr. Brown breaks down into about 6 different pieces. Okay. Like it
Yes.
is a whole thing putting it together. Big thing with bottle safety, I think that old school versus new school, you should never be warming up formula in the microwave. A lot of people don't know that. Even when it comes down to thawing out your breast milk, you shouldn't microwave it. You should just take it out of the freezer, use some warm water at the sink to defrost it, and then you can put it in a bottle warmer for baby. You should always be sanitizing your bottles after every feeding. So you shouldn't just be washing them in the sink. That's really not sanitary. You should be, they have different kits. You can either buy one that automatically does it for you. There's ones that you can put in the microwave, set it for a certain amount of time. They have reusable bags now. Or our parents grew up, get a boiling pot of hot water, you drop them in there for a little bit, and that's how you sanitize your
Mhm.
bottles. So that's a big thing. When it comes to feeding, you should never prop a bottle up in the baby's mouth. Babies will choke, babies will aspirate. Sometimes you don't see them aspirate, and they aspirate a little bit, and long-term effects can happen after that. They can get sick. So those are the big things with bottle safety, and then just making sure like the flow of your nipple is appropriate for the age of baby. You shouldn't have a newborn on like a stage 2 nipple. Okay, like she's gonna be in. You'll know if it's too fast for you. 'Cause you'll hear them gulping, and you really shouldn't be hearing them gulping down a bottle. That lets you know that
Mhm.
they're taking it down too fast. But I don't really have a preference with bottles. It's whatever works for you. Just make
Yeah,
sure that
there's
you're sanitizing, cleaning them, and don't just prop them up in the baby's mouth. And then, we can go on for days. Like, milk shouldn't be sitting out for a period of time. Um,
yeah. So our my lactation nurse, the class we went to, she gave me a little thing to put on the free the refrigerator. It gives us like the times and stuff for that. It's just
so
it
breast
is
milk can sit
hard.
out for 3, 4 hours.
Yeah, and
After
it is you learn as you go. So I will say you, mama, all my friends that have reached out to me and has given me advice, I'm thankful for because it is a learning curve, but it is you just have to give yourself grace. The biggest thing for me was I think I didn't realize how because I would say my pregnancy was great. Like compared to I've heard some stories of how people are just so sick and can't
Mhm.
it was great. Delivery, we'll talk about another time when it comes down to that. I think it's in April is when I think it's like C-section awareness. We'll talk about that. But yeah, pregnancy was fine. Postpartum and everything, it's truly day by day. Some days are gonna be better than others, and
Mhm.
when it comes to bottle feeding and everything, I literally had to just kind of let it go. So breast milk right now, we've been bottle feeding for Donzel to help and my parents to help too. And even me sometimes. I just want a break.
Oh,
But yeah.
I don't blame you. I
But
always
Dr.
tell
Brown,
parents,
I will
like,
say that
yeah,
I'm
they're a
like,
good bottle.
no,
They
I'm
just
just
break
like,
down into
dang,
pieces.
breaking down all the parts and then putting the parts in. I'm like, girl, if you don't just latch on, we're not gonna have these bottles today. But the bottles do give the reassurance of how much you're like, oh, okay, she's taking in 3 to 3.5. When you're breastfeeding, that's the challenging part too. That's why I do prefer bottle feeding sometimes. So it's like, oh, I can see how much you're taking in with the breast. I'm like, Girl, what you doing?
Very much true. I mean, that's motherhood. I tell people all the time, just you take snippets from here and there, a book, a podcast, your friends, and you make what works work for you.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Just whatever works for you. There is not a, I will say there's a wrong way, but it ain't really, it's whatever works for you. Don't try to compare yourself to other people. But did you want to add anything else before we jump into our two new segments?
No, I think we covered a
No?
lot of baby safety.
Okay.
If y'all have any other questions, y'all can just DM me on the side.
Yeah, or leave a comment for sure. If y'all want to, if there's anybody out there in the newborn trenches with me, please reach out because I could definitely use more mom friends. But let's go ahead and get into our two new segments. So, Bree, go ahead and start us off with our first new segment, Dear Sisters.
All right, y'all. So we kicked off Dear Sisters and we got a letter. I almost feel like when I said that it just made me think of Blue's Clues. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a letter. It's a very interesting topic. This person had a friend who this situation happened to, and it occurred with their support animal, their support dog, while they
Okay.
were on vacation. So they're pretty much asking us how we would have handled the situation. And in this situation, would we have alerted the owner a lot sooner? Okay, so let me kick this off. I'm going to kind of summarize it, but read some of it. So what occurred was my best friend's sister's girlfriend, which her sister went on a vacation for the 4th of July. They
Okay.
went to Mexico. She has a dog named Poppy, who she left with her mom. Within less than 24 hours of Poppy being with her mom, Poppy is found in the front yard deceased. Okay.
Okay.
So they asked the family, like, what happened? The brother says, hey, I came by the house at 10 o'clock. I came by the house at 8. The dog was barking in the backyard. And then in the span of 2 hours, they find Poppy in the front yard deceased. Well, the questionable thing about it was mom has 2 other dogs. These dogs are inside dogs, but Poppy was put outside that day. So people were a little upset about, like, well, why were your dogs inside? Why was Poppy put outside? This is in Houston, Texas. It's super hot. It doesn't take much for a dog to be dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
So to add insult to injury, they contact the boyfriend to the girlfriend who's in Mexico, this is her support dog. She got this support dog due to having some previous history with suicidal thoughts, and so this was like her baby. They contact the boyfriend. They're like, hey, this is what happened to Poppy. He passed away. Do you want to tell her? The boyfriend says, no, we just went on an excursion for the day. She's in a good mood. Like, I don't want to ruin our vacation. We're not going to tell her. So over the next 3-4 days, mom is not giving an explanation to what happened to the dog. They put the dog on ice. 2 days later, they take the dog to the vet. Mom is like, hey, are you able to tell us what happened to the dog? If my daughter comes back, would you have to disclose to her what happened to the dog? Would she be at liberty to know to access that? Like, would you guys do an autopsy? They tell her
Yeah.
yes. So it starts to look a little squirmish as to what happened to Poppy. So long story short, we don't she comes back, she finds out that her dog is deceased. Mom won't tell her what happened to the dog. So the question is, one, should the boyfriend have told his girlfriend that her support dog was deceased before she came back from vacation? Two, how would you have handled your mom who leaving your support dog out in the heat in Houston and then not able to give you a viable explanation of what happened to your animal?
Mm. So being a dog owner, I'm just like, first off, he should have told her. Should he have told her right then and there when he got the phone call? No, boyfriend. But he should during the trip. He should have told her that day. Should he have told her that instant, like when he got the call? No, but he definitely should have told her that day. I'm not sure when he told her, but he definitely should have told her that day.
He didn't tell her that day. She didn't find out till she got back from
Oh
Mexico.
no. Oh yeah, no.
They went
Let's
the
not
whole
happen to
vacation.
my dog while I'm gone. No. Granted, I get it. Like, but I'm more of a tell me right now so I can process it. Because again, there's nothing I can do. I'm miles away, number one. I know when I'm gonna be back home, number two. And then number three, the dog is already passed away. So those three, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, no, I would want to know right then and there. And then what was the second question?
How would you have handled the situation with your mom? One, she puts your dog outside. Two, your dog is deceased within 24 hours of this dog being in her care. And three, she can't give you an explanation as to what happened to your dog.
Ooh, that's sensitive because it's mama. Is this the first time she's been with the dog or no?
This ain't the first time she's been with your dog. As a matter of fact, she's been around your dog and she really didn't care for it too much. So we all still trying to figure out why you left.
Oh, well then why would you even leave it with mama in the first place? Go ahead and chop it up. You finna leave it at one of these dog boarding places with people who love dogs. That's their job. Let them know the situation. Make sure baby got enough food. That's what we do now. So there's been instances when my parents have came up here, or vice versa. I have a very needy Bernedoodle, but there's times where he goes to day camp, and he's with people who can give him attention, and he's in air conditioned, and he's getting fed, and that's what I would do. So especially on a trip, we haven't taken a trip yet, but those are things that I've already kind of considered. I would not leave my dog at home in the care of family. Because anything can happen. Anything can happen at those places as well, but at least they're trained to handle situations like that, and that's their job. That's not your mom's job.
Now mama's had one of her babies for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. Ankle biter. Okay. Now how you think mama would have reacted had y'all had her dog? And she on vacation with daddy. And daddy didn't tell her that dog done passed. And then on top of that, y'all gonna put her baby on ice. And then when she get back, y'all done buried and cremated her dog. Y'all done did everything without her. Boy, mama is turning tables.
Yeah, for sure. Kudos. Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's a story right there. That is very caught me off guard too. I would have never thought our first letter would have been about that. But yeah, no. I've already got put in place when it come down to my little dog. Well, not little because he's over 50 pounds, but no, there's no rover trying to have somebody come to the house. You've been to these places before, you've gotten a feel of it. I think even here, we went and saw Kendrick Lamar one night. And granted, he could have stayed home, but we boarded him just so he can get used to how it felt. They said he did great. So gradually we'll get to the point of maybe leaving him 2 days, 3 days, so then he knows how to act and it's not like a culture shock. But poor little dog. And then you put him on ice.
Poppy went through a whole lot without his owner.
Yeah.
Not knowing.
So yeah, no, definitely should have broken the ice and told her. All right. Well, let's get into our next segment. So our next segment is Entrepreneur Spotlight. So I do want to recognize two different businesses. So the first business is my friend Johnny Taylor, also known as JT. If you are in Dallas, Texas, and you are looking for a basketball trainer, even a basketball trainer that works with children with autism, because he is specialized in working with children and adults with autism, he has a training company called Locked In Elite. So if you're looking for an AAU team, or if you're looking for just basketball training for your kids or what have you, make sure you look up Locked In Elite. You can find it on Instagram, Facebook, I'll make sure to put the comment or put his business in the comments for y'all to reach out to him. But yeah, he's had that business for about 2 to 3 years, so I just want to make sure that he gets that spotlight that he deserves because being an entrepreneur is tough. You're
Mhm.
typically not doing it full time, so you're doing it more as what we call a hobby. You're doing it on the side, and sometimes you're not getting profit from it. So you have to depend on your other profit while still throwing in money to your entrepreneur business. So I did want to give him a or recognize him for his business. So again, I'll make sure to put that in there. And then the second entrepreneur that I want to recognize is my mom. She'll be joining us here in a moment. But she has a business called LYF. It's a travel business, which basically means um, love yourself first. I actually have on her shirt. You can't really see it.
Oh, I did not know we had a shirt.
Yeah, so it's love yourself first travel business by Crystal Flowers, and again, she'll be joining us here in a moment to just talk a little bit about her business. Thank you for joining us. We
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
have you just share a little bit about your business. So what's I already kind of talked about it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
love yourself first travel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So where'd you come up with that name?
I came up with love yourself first because a lot of times we play the role as wife, mother, caregiver. We just wear so many hats that it comes to the point where you put yourself on the back burner and you'll be looking rugged and hair all over your head. You know me, I'll put a wig on quick. Underneath, you don't know what's going on up under there. If you did, it'd probably tell my life story. But anywho, I wanted people to learn to love themselves first. It's okay to put yourself first because my baby 30 years old and I still put all y'all ahead of me, still to this day. So I came up with that because it's like when you go on travel, just think about yourself. Love yourself and enjoy it. Don't worry about Poppy.
No. All
For
right.
right now,
So
just
what?
love yourself.
Yeah. What? So how long have you been? What's the name of the company, and how long have you been a travel agent?
Okay, so I got with a company called Planet Marketing, and Planet Marketing sells the opportunity of travel. So it's two businesses that partnered up. And I chose Planet Marketing because, unlike other multi level marketing companies, I don't have any inventory. You don't see a travel business sitting on a shelf that I need to sell. And I'm not knocking, Mary Kay or the other businesses that are out there that are the same marketing businesses. I don't have any product on my shelf that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get rid of. I sell a travel business. That's it. You book your own travel. 9 times out of 10, you booking your own travel for family reunions. Hey, girl, can you girls trip? You already doing it. You just not getting paid for it. So when that opportunity presented itself to me, I was like, where was y'all at when I had all this AAU? When I needed discounts on hotels and I needed discounts on flights and different things like that. I had no idea this even was available. So when the opportunity presented itself that I can show you how to make your own commission. I mean, I can book the trip for you, but I can show you how to make your own commission and have a business behind it and be able to get some tax write-offs and stuff like that, especially for me because I ain't got no babies in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Can't use Athena. She ain't got a social security number. That's the pit bull. So
All right, Bree, did you have anything you wanted to ask or add?
So how does the process work if somebody was interested in partnering with you to either start their own business or if I come to you and say, hey, I want to book a trip to Cancun, what does that process look like?
easy process. Once you get started in the business, they give you your own .com. So just like Expedia.com or Booking.com, mine is crystalflowers.intellitravel.com. Have my own website. You can look for your hotels, your rental cars, buy your tickets, anything. Or, of course, you go through me and I do everything for you, and there's no fee. You call me, my flight changed, or I can't get into my hotel. I'm the middle person because I don't know if you've ever experienced.
calling a hotel on hold or trying to get your flight changed, you're on hold. I'm the person that do that for you and get that all done. And there's no extra fee. Now there are some travel advisors that do charge a fee for their services like that. Maybe I'm old school. I know we all struggling trying to pay for eggs and a pound of hamburger meat. And I'm not gonna charge you $15, $20 for something that I could just easily do for you and take one thing off your plate, making you love yourself first. Yep. So,
Okay.
or did I answer that? Wait, hold on.
You did. No,
Okay.
you
Okay.
did. You answered.
Okay.
Do you also, on top of like the hotel, the flights, do you also book like the excursion process? Like if I say I want to go skydiving or I want to go swimming with the sharks, like can you package all that as one?
I can package that all as one. I also have my own link for excursions. So you can do your excursions once you get to, say, Jamaica or once you get to Turks and Caicos. But I have a link where you can just log in, look for the one that you want, book it, and go from there. Because a lot of times when you book with the resorts, it's on their time. And then if you miss that, they're not giving you no refund. With my link, you can pick your own and you're able to look and see because you may not want to go swimming with the sharks. I'm not swimming with the sharks. I don't care if it's free right now. Sharks don't care if it's light meat or dark meat or nothing. They, so yeah. But once you get set up with the company, it's just amazing all of the information and mentorship and training and business that you get. Your own website, your own link. Girl, you book your own Chris Brown tickets and then turn around and get a check on it. Y'all booked the tickets with Chris Brown and paid that money for them floor seats. I had a link. I would have got paid, but I could teach you how to get paid. So not only do you come back from your concert talking about Breezy, you say, oh, I done got a little deposit. Oh, this is a commission from selling the tickets. Oh, okay. It's a win-win.
And then the number one conversation or the number one question everybody wants to know because times is hard. Is there a payment plan?
A payment plan for your trips? Yes, ma'am. Don't call me in December talking about I got 30 people that want to go to Tennessee and we want a house that fit 30 and my budget is $1,500.
Well, we already know all 30 ain't making that trip anyway. It's gonna dwindle until about a hard 5.
Yes.
So I'm gonna tell you, when I got into the business, the first training I did was Disney. Because you have to be certified in order to sell Disney. That's the one thing about Disney. And on top of that, they give you a free cruise. They give you free admission tickets. So I was doing that training right off the bat. But if you want to do Carnival, you want to do Royal Caribbean, you want to do Virgin Voyages, and somebody say, I want to book, I don't know everything about them, but you give me 15 minutes and I can go into my back office and do my training, and then I can get you booked real quick. Yep.
And then last but not least, because everybody talks about it, the cost.
Well, it depends. If I'm putting a quote together for somebody, and your budget is, say, hypothetically, $4,000, and that's for 2 people, I'm going to give you a quote for that amount, one a little bit above and one a little bit below. One thing I'm not going to do is have you put your head somewhere that I wouldn't lay my head. So 99% of the time, it's going to be a 4-star or above that I give you a quote on or that I post on my page. Because again, if that door opens out and your car is right there, I don't do them hotels. I did back in the day. I don't do them no more. But one thing I'm not going to do is put somebody in a place where I wouldn't be. A lot of people will do that. I don't do that. Now, if you come and tell me I want to stay at the Golden Nugget in Vegas versus Bellagio, I'll help you put it together. But I'm gonna be at Bellagio. You can be at
Yeah.
the Golden Nugget. You know, I'm not gonna discriminate. If that's what you want and that's what your price range is, I work with you.
Okay.
Okay.
And then as far as the different, you said there's a difference between selling it and then just having the membership. What's the price difference with those two?
So if you want to come into the company, if you want to become a travel advisor, you go through Planet Marketing, which is $19.95, and then you buy your travel business, which is $179. So right off the back, it's like $200. That's what you get, but you get in two businesses. You can sell travel, or you can be like, I don't want to sell it. I just want to travel. And you be over here and you just travel.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we conclude our entrepreneur spotlight segment?
I would just say, look into Planet Marketing. It is a Black-owned business that started in 2009. His name is Mr. Donald Bradley out of Atlanta, and he takes care of his people. I'm going to just say that. He takes care of his people. If you're thinking about joining, do your research. Entrepreneurship is hard because one thing you have to do is make yourself get up and do things. You have to be consistent because that alarm clock can go off and you don't have to get up at 8 o'clock. You don't have to get up at 9 and get into traffic and do whatever. But what you gotta do is make yourself presentable at all times. That's the one thing with entrepreneurship. You have to be consistent. People gotta know who you are and what you sell and what you got. And be real with it. I'm not in the front with the red bottoms and I'm in Dallas. I mean in Paris, and I'm hearing that no. When I post my trips, this is really where I'm at right now. Do I want to get to them places? Yes. Will I get to them places? Yes. But just be real, be consistent, and if you're looking for extra income without having to go get that job, contact me. I got something for you. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll go ahead and conclude our episode here in shortly, but
Okay.
you can stay on, Mama. You can log off. You don't.
Okay, I'm a lot off, but I just want to say this. I am so proud of you young ladies. Mothership, wives, y'all are just doing it at a young age. Baby, I was already, I think, 3 kids deep at y'all's age. Wasn't even thinking about different things. But y'all are just, you're showing young women that you ain't got to show to get out there and do. You know what I'm saying? And y'all are just so respectable. I respect y'all. Bree, still my daughter.
Oh, thank you, Mama.
Still my daughter. Sister, you're still my daughter. But I just want to say that I just love everything that y'all are trying to do, letting young women know that all you got to do is just get out there and try. Just if you fail, you fall forward and keep going. Everything ain't got to be perfect. Just do it. And if it makes you happy and you love yourself first, nothing else matters.
Thank you.
Mama got me getting teary-eyed over here.
Not you.
Yes. I'm working on my enchiladas over there.
Oh, yeah. I got you. I'm going to make one for every plate. What's the thing I got of yours? Them things.
Don't try. I know. And his little baptism is coming up. We're going to link. Link. So I got a whole dinner coming up over at this house.
I'll make an enchilada for every one of them that I got. Look.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, as we conclude our episode, remember to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, we're just trying to be authentic as possible, just being ourselves, sharing information that we think is going to be helpful for you all. Always love to give y'all a little bit of sports, and then just being relatable. Again, I'm in the newborn trenches, so I was going through it every day, but I'm so thankful as a first-time mom.
Speaking of dropping nuggets, you dropped the whole baby on Sistahs with a Purpose. We never announced nothing.
Oh yeah. I feel like they could have. I feel like people knew because like I went back and looked at some of the episodes and I was like, dang, I was like swollen. And then even when we recorded the live episode in San Antonio, I was like, dang, I look different. Now looking at me postpartum and stuff, I'm back at my pre-pregnancy weight. I still got some working out to do, but I was like, man, I was just so swollen. I figure people do, but yeah, baby girl is thriving. She's doing amazing.
Beautiful. She's
Yeah,
so cute.
but yeah, and I don't know if I'm gonna share pictures of her yet. Maybe when she gets a little bit older, because social media people is crazy. But as we conclude our episode again, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully, our next episode will be live. And until next time, I'm your girl Leash.
I'm Bree.
All right, and this is Sisters with a Purpose. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.